John, pronouns he, him, calling in from Meek Aardvarks. That's stupid.
I was going to say monkey asses, so you did much better.
Monkey asses is good. No, monkey asses is really good. The God exists, and it literally just says the cosmological argument on the screen. I don't know if John typed that in or if the call screener typed that in, but hi, John. You're on the line with Forrest and Paul. How you doing? John, can you hear us?
You might be muted, John. There you go.
Oh, there we go. John exploded into existence.
Oh, he might have been coughing. I see. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, John. So tell us what God you believe in and why you believe in it. And it says here, cosmological argument. Again, I don't know if you wrote that or not, but if that is the argument, we'll have a lot of fun with it.
Yes. Sorry, I'm a bit of a talking.
John is currently dying. John might find out if there's a God before we do.
Should we put John back in the queue? John, do you need a few minutes? We can come back to you, John, if you'd like.
I'm feeling better.
Okay, good.
Okay. Bad timing. All right, John, what's going on?
So I'm trying to prove to you guys the cosmological argument.
Okay, so just so we're all on the same page, the cosmological argument, as I understand it, is, or at least I know, I'm most familiar with the Kalam version, which is that everything that has every effect needs a cause, everything in the universe needs a cause, and therefore there must be something that caused the universe, and that cause is God. Is that where we're going, right? Or is there something different?
That's the basic structure, yeah.
Cool. Which God?
For me, the Christian God.
Okay. How do you get to the Christian God from the cosmological argument? Because the cosmological argument is a bad argument for proving a God, but especially when you say specifically this God, and especially a God like the Christian God, it gets worse and worse and worse. So how do you get to specifically the Christian God from the Kalam argument?
Well, how do you know that my God is the right God?
I asked you. I don't think your God is the right God. I don't think your God is real. So, like, I'm asking. You said you were calling in about the Christian God specifically. How do you get to everything needs a cause? Therefore, you can't have butt sex and you can't trim the sides of your beard. And if a woman sits on a stool while she's menstruating, you have to burn it, and like all these other things that come with the Christian God.
I would consider your description a more fundamentalist description of Christianity. I think that modern Christianity is significantly different from that, like, right after the fall of the temple Christianity.
Okay, then take that. It doesn't matter. The point is, you're saying, I don't know what caused the universe. There must be something that caused the universe. Therefore, it's a guy, and I know the guy's name, and the guy put out a book, and I know what the guy wants of me, whether or not it's a fundamentalist version or not. Like, that's a lot of baggage you're carrying around simply on the single claim that you think the universe must have been caused by something, which is a totally different, silly argument. So, like, how do you get to the Christian God from there must be something that caused the universe?
Well, I mean, all the other religions have paradoxes. Like, for me, there are no paradoxes in Christian religion. Like,
okay, well, then you're not thinking about the Christian religion too hard.
I mean, what are you talking about?
Do you believe in the tri-omni God, a God that is omnipotent and omnibenevolent and omniscient, all-knowing, all-loving, all-powerful?
For me, that is the Christian God.
Cool. Well, then the problem of evil destroys your God's, like, possibility.
No.
Okay. So then we can go to the old Epicurus if you like. Just, if this God is able to stop evil but not willing, then it is evil. If it is willing to stop evil but not willing, then it's not all powerful, right? If it's neither able nor willing, then it's not really God. So we take a look around us in the world. We see all sorts of pain and suffering that is not our fault, that is not caused by free will or any of this other stuff. Where's your God in this? If it's all loving, then the world around us certainly is not a loving place that it would have made, right?
What's to not make this world loving? You're alive, man. Like, do you realize how amazing that is?
I am, but there are about 25,000 people that starve to death every single day. That includes about 10,000 children. So 10,000 children dying in one of the most terrifying, painful ways possible every single day. They are not alive. They're dying in a horrible way. Is this part of the God's love?
Yes. Yeah, what do you mean? Like,
explain to me how starving someone to death is loving.
Purposefully starving someone to death. You personally are starving someone to death. What are you talking about?
Did I say that? Did I say that? You said that your God. No, you need to go back and listen to what I said and take better notes. What your claim is that this God is all powerful and all knowing and all loving at the same time. I'm telling you that 10,000 children starve to death in this world every single day. Your God knows about every single one of them because he is all knowing. He could feed every single one of them because he is all powerful. And he's all loving, so he should, but he doesn't. So why is it loving, if this God is all loving, why is it loving for this God to know these children are starving to death and do nothing to stop them despite his ability to do so?
Because of original sin.
Okay, that's not love. If you love someone, then you want to take care of them and protect them. If you love someone unconditionally, your love does not stop. God is all loving. God is love incarnate. Love doesn't have limits like that. If it is eternal, perfect, like a divine love, God's love has limits. God's love is conditional. God's love is limited by sin, and it is conditional upon repentance and acceptance and praise and worship. That's not love. At least it's not very good love. Anything else, John? Nope. Okay. Seems like that's the end of the John call. Are you there?
Yeah. But even with that, why is killing 10,000 people so bad?
Just say that sentence again.
What makes it bad? How is there any difference between good or evil?
The question is it loving?
Yeah, what does loving even mean?
So
you tell us.
Do you want to just that's the issue, is like we're giving you your worldview, your definition of love. And instead of just addressing the fact that this concept is incompatible with reality, you're now dancing over to the next thing. Well, you don't even have a love. What is love? And why is it bad for people to die? Like it's lazy thinking, John. Like you could very easily just grapple with the fact that if your God claims to love us, then it certainly wouldn't sit idly by while tens of thousands of people starve, die of dehydration, are raped, are murdered, are killed in genocides. Like there's a lot of evil shit in the world. And the thing is, John, if you're a parent, as this God is supposed to be all of our Father, and you see your children killing and raping and hurting each other, you don't just sit there with folded arms and say, well, they have free will, and I guess they were bad once, so I might as well let them. You do something. You intervene. You educate. You parent. You discipline in a kind and loving way. But the only time your God disciplines anybody is when he's drowning the entire world in a global flood, or burning cities with burning sulfur from the sky, or other horrific shit. That's not loving good discipline. Or he just does nothing and expects us to figure it out for him. And that's assuming that we're only looking at the parts of the Bible that are just directly talking about this, not talking about all the other parts of the Bible, which you may dismiss as fundamentalism.
The thing is, because all of those things are your vision of good and bad. And I agree with you, but God's vision is not the same.
Let me try to boil it down a little bit more directly. The God of the Bible is very clearly pro-slavery. Cover to cover, the Bible is good with slavery. Do you think that that is actually good, or do you think that sometimes slavery is okay?
No, I think that slavery is horrible.
Right, but the God of the Bible doesn't. The God of the Bible not only says that slavery isn't bad, the God of the Bible gives instructions on how to do slavery. The God of the Bible condones and commands slavery. So, does that make him good, or does that make him evil?
What if there's some other gigantic, like the universe, same thing? All I'm trying to make a point is about moral utility, that what we deem to be good and bad, the basis for our moral values, where it's been cruxed in, is completely different that God has in the whole plan. We could be an
so I'm going to ask you I'm going to ask you this direct question again, because you're doing the thing again, where instead of actually grappling with the morality that you're claiming exists, you're just dancing to something else. John, is there ever, in any situation, any circumstance in which owning another human being as property against their will, beating them, passing them down to your children, is there ever any situation in any hypothetical reality where slavery is morally good?
Come on, man. You're just strawmanning, and you're trying to get me to say something which is absolutely absurd and horrible.
How did I strawman you? No, John, I asked you a question.
Said exactly how you are trying to get me to say something that would completely demean my whole argument just because of
no, I am not. I'm trying to get you to answer an honest question without dodging to some other what if scenario.
You know exactly what you're doing, and that's just weak arguing.
What is weak about saying that slavery is bad, John?
At my argument.
John, I'm not a philosopher, I'm a biologist. I'm asking you, is slavery ever acceptable? Ever?
No wonder.
Is slavery ever acceptable ever?
No, it's not. Not in my moral standing.
Okay. And yet your God says that it is. And the only thing you've offered is, well, maybe God has some other higher morality or whatever like that. And that's not good enough.
I don't have to completely agree with him to make his existence standing.
Okay, so you agree that God may be evil.
Evil by your definition. There's about some higher morality outside of yours.
If the God of the Bible exists,
how do you are the arbiter of morality of the universe?
John, if the God of the Bible exists, then that God, if it exists, is pro-slavery, pro-sex slavery, pro-pedophilia, pro-genocide, pro-misogyny, pro-homophobia. That God is evil. If the God of the Bible is real, it is evil because the God of the Bible is an evil character. So if you're going to argue whether or not it exists, I'm happy to have that discussion. But as it stands right now, we should be able to agree that the God of the Bible is evil, whether it exists or not. Do you agree with me on that?
No.
So you don't I'm asking your opinion here. Based on your morality, you wouldn't say that this creature that commands for slavery, genocide, rape, torture, murder, like these things, this is a good guy.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the God of the Bible who commands genocide and slavery and misogyny and homophobia, and who drowned an entire planet because he regretted having kids.
In our eyes, in my eyes included, I could see that as evil. But we must recognize that he is a higher power than us.
That is why, John. That is why I asked you earlier when you threw a little fit and said that I was straw manning you and all this shit. That's why I asked you, is there ever any situation ever, even in a hypothetical scenario, where it would be okay to own human beings as property?
Come on. That was clearly straw manning. This is definition.
Define what a straw man is. What do you think the word straw manning means?
All right, okay. You're getting tangential here. There's no need to be talking about going into that.
No, if you're going to accuse me of straw manning when I'm not, I'd like to know what you think that is.
Dude, okay. Can we get back to the real argument here?
No. You've accused me of a logical fallacy twice. I would like you to tell me what you think it is I'm doing.
Look, you're just trying to demean my argument by making these fantastical scenarios that are meant to make me say something outrageous here. And then based on saying that outrageous thing, you're like, well, wow, this argument only works if slavery and rape is okay. Wow, that's
not at all what I've done. The outrageous thing that I'm trying to get you to say, John, the outrageous thing that I'm trying to get you to say is that slavery is always bad forever. There is no scenario in which slavery is good. That's the outrageous thing that I would like you to say.
No, you want me to say the other thing, which is not what I believe.
What other thing?
Because you know that. All right, man. This is what I'm saying.
Thing?
Mine are not with God's morals.
So what you don't want to say is that God has good reason for slavery? Is that what you don't want to say?
No, he might not have good reason for it.
So here's the thing, man.
You want
is
to
that, no, it's like I think you and I are saying the same thing, John. It's just like Paul, pardon me, John. The reason why I'm asking you this is not to straw man you, which, by the way, you've yet to tell me what you think straw manning means, and you have yet to. Nothing I've done has been a straw man yet. But what I'm trying to get you to admit is that you have a different moral framework than your God does, and you've kind of said that a couple of times. You've said that God's morality is different than ours, but that's an issue. Your opinion differs from God's in terms of what is or isn't good. And that's a major problem because that's what causes good people who are in religious indoctrination to do evil shit. If people can make you believe absurdities, they can make you commit atrocities. So there's a long history of lots of religions, but Christianity as well, of people doing hideous evil things because they think the Bible justifies it. And if you have a book that allows for slavery and allows for genocide and allows for incest and allows for murder and allows for sex slavery and pedophilia and all this other shit, then yeah, you're going to have people who think they're good people buying into it. And that's a problem.
Yeah, Christian.
Now, that's not the entire reason I don't believe your God is real. I think your God isn't good if it is real. And I'm asking you if you agree with that. And it sounds like you do, but you won't say it.
My moral framework is much more in line with more of a Kantian perspective. But I do still believe in the Christian God. And
these are my you believe in a God. You believe in a God that is different, has different morals than you do. You believe in a God that thinks that horrible things are good and good things are horrible. You believe in an evil God. By calling things evil, it's not an objective statement here. I'm asking your opinion. In your opinion, anybody who wanted the things your God wants and said and did the things your God did and said would be evil, right?
Well, every religion is evil.
You can't just answer a straight question, dude. In your opinion, anybody who said and did the things your God did and said would be evil, right?
Yeah, he's evil.
Right. So then your God, if it exists, is also evil, right?
In a way, yes.
Yes. So now, going back to the beginning of the call, your entire argument here is that you think the universe needs a cause. How do you get, this is my original question that we never answered, how do you get from, I don't know where the universe came from. It must have a cause, all the way to there is a monster that lives in the sky that wants me to have slaves. Where's the line? Where's the bridge there?
Well, I thought it'd be fun to roll the dice on a religion when I was younger, so chose Catholicism, and that's what I rocked with.
Do you care about whether or not what you believe is real?
Well, not really.
Okay, well then we're done. John, do you want to, or Paul, do you want to continue?
No, he's giggling, so we're good.
Yeah, it's a complete fucking waste of time. Thanks so much, John. Despite your best efforts to be a shitty troll, this has actually been productive because there's people who believe the dumb shit that you're saying here, and I hope they learned something from this call. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's like, even when it's something like this, the pose law is strong on these calls, and it's difficult to tell when somebody is trolling or not. But everything that John said on that call, I have heard people say in earnest. And so, like, it's still good, in my opinion, to have that call out there in its in its entirety, so that people can see.
I didn't even suspect until the very end, because you're right. I've had that very conversation 100 times. So yeah.
Wow, that was a great clip we just watched. Hey, Eve, what should the people do now?
Leave a comment, click like, subscribe, patreon.com/ does that say call the line?
Yeah. But if you could have made, we could just make it a little more natural. On the next clip, the outro will be much better.